Social algorithms got you just going nuts? If you want to know what to do with TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, dig in to today's show.
The state of social media is constantly evolving, and staying current with all the latest features and updates is a major factor for finding success on all the big platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of them. From the metaverse to creator monetization funds, there's just a lot of change happening in the social space, and that's exactly why. In today's episode, we're going to list out and explore all the top changes, trends, and features and updates that you need to know about on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, on Instagram, so you can ensure your social media strategy is completely dialed in. Welcome to This Week in Marketing. My name is Jason Pantana, your host and instructor, and I'm so glad you're watching today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to tap that big red subscribe button, and while you're at it, hit the little bell right next to it so you get notified whenever we publish new videos just like this one. We want to make sure you're getting all the latest content and therefore the latest strategies to implement in your business so you can crush it in your business. Now, back to our topic this week, which is to stay up to date with the latest features. Reality is, if you know what the changes and the trends are on the major platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and so forth, then you can leverage them and pick up that extra algorithmic edge in your business. So let's dive in. TikTok is one of the fastest growing, most popular social media platforms like ever. And so my first advice would be, if you're not leveraging TikTok as part of your social media strategy, you really ought to consider doing so. Now that means you might have to rethink your content mix to create more vertical focused videos, but if you're on Instagram, you should already be doing that. So I would first begin by encouraging you that if you're not on TikTok, it is most certainly a platform that you should look at. And, a lot of people say, well, TikTok's just for kids. Actually, it's not. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about why you should do TikTok, but you should consider TikTok. Now, slide that off to the side. Let's talk about the latest features and updates. TikTok has really been the trend setter in terms of social media sites. It seems like every other day, Instagram is trying to keep up with TikTok. YouTube is trying to do something to be more like TikTok. TikTok has really been the leader as far as vertical video content is concerned. They've been the absolute leader. However, for the first feature/update on TikTok to talk about is actually one where TikTok is emulating other platforms, like, for example, Instagram, and that is through TikTok Stories. Now, what are stories? Well, let's go back in time and let's talk for a moment about Snapchat. Snapchat was novel in that they created full bleed vertical, meaning I held my phone vertical and it took over the whole screen. So full bleed vertical disappearing content. It could be videos or photos. I could add text and graphics and GIFs and all that kind of stuff. And that was what Snapchat was known for, kind of their secret sauce. And then Instagram rolls out Instagram Stories to compete. And oh, did they ever compete? They became the rage, and then it rolled over into Facebook. And now stories are kind of ubiquitous. Like every major platform, even Twitter has their own version of it. They all have like something along the lines of stories, which are vertical disappearing pieces of content. Well, now TikTok also has what are called stories, but they're slightly different. So think about on Instagram, stories are arrayed from left to right in the stories feed, which is kind of the circle icons of profiles at the top of the app. Well, on TikTok, that's not the way that it works. Your stories will actually show in the same feed as your regular post on TikTok. The difference being that they disappear within 24 hours and they don't have to be videos. So TikTok has actually only ever been a video platform, but now with stories, you can add content to your main profile grid on TikTok that disappears within 24 hours, and it could be a photo or a video or a combination. So one thing to be aware of is stories on TikTok. They're different-ish than Instagram only because they actually live on the main grid and then disappear, whereas on Instagram, they're a whole separate section of the app, so to speak. Now, the next update or feature on TikTok to know about is their rollout of the Friends feed, which again is also kind of an echo or a resemblance to Instagram and Facebook and other social sites. Let's go backstory for a second. TikTok really is more of an entertainment platform than a social media site. Social media sites are you connecting with your community, but most people, the way they use TikTok is they scroll through the For You feed, which is really predicated on their interests. They're seeing content from people who are total strangers for the most part. They may or may not follow them. They probably don't follow them half of the time, and it's really just based upon interest. This is a strength of TikTok's, but also a weakness of it because it's really difficult to form community on TikTok compared to like Facebook or Instagram or another platform. And so recently, TikTok got rid of their discovery tab. They actually kind of minimized it to a smaller portion of their platform, and they launched an entire new tab along the footer called the Friends feed. So now on TikTok, there's actually 3 different feeds. There's the long and steady main default feed called the For You feed. The For You feed is really predicated on, like we said, your interests. TikTok's gonna show me videos of things that might interest me. If I watch a video on puppy dogs, I'm gonna keep seeing videos on puppy dogs. It's been said that TikTok can read your mood. That's the For You feed, but the next feed is called the Following feed. So I can choose to follow certain creators on TikTok, and then I have a feed dedicated to only seeing their latest content. That's the Following feed. Well, now there's this third section. It used to be where the Discovery section was. It's now called the Friends feed, and it's a feed of your quote unquote friends, but unlike Facebook, where I elect to be somebody's friend, a friend is simply somebody whereby I follow them and they follow me, and thus we're friends, yay, together forever. And I think what's important about this is it shows signs from TikTok that they're looking to still have their foot in the water of social media. They want to be a social network, not just an entertainment platform. And so your relationships are actually becoming worth a lot more, the people you connect with on TikTok. Now, the third feature to know about on TikTok is what's called templates. When you go to make a post on TikTok, at the very, very bottom of the app, you're gonna see 4 options. There's basically four types of posts you can create on TikTok. The first option says camera. That's your regular old everyday post. The second option says a story. We just talked about the stories component. There's also one that says live. That's a live stream, which is kind of, self-evident. It's a live stream. And then there's an option that says templates. Templates are pre-created designs that you can basically drag and drop in your own videos into templates that have some kind of an algorithmic edge. They're trending in some nature. So if you're somebody who's making content on TikTok and maybe it's really time consuming, you had to look at templates. That could really streamline your creation. Or you're using the app and you're like, I want to leverage the templates because they themselves may be trending to some degree, and I can kind of capitalize on that trendingness and get more views on my videos. And the last feature to know about on TikTok right now is their rollout of what they've dubbed their library. It's a GIF library. Some of you might call it a GIF or a GIF. It's a GIF. And they actually have a licensing deal with Jiffy.com, whereby you can actually tap the library button when you're making a post on TikTok, and you can search through their entire library of all their animated GIFs and use that as your video content versus having to supply your own original video content. So that's another feature on TikTok that you should be aware of. Next, let's talk about YouTube and what are some of the latest features or updates or trends that you should know about to make sure that you're leveraging YouTube as effectively as possible. The first feature to be aware of is what YouTube calls their research tab. If you access your YouTube studio, which if you're unfamiliar with that term, YouTube gives every channel owner the YouTube studio. Go to studio.youtube.com, and it's like this state-of-the-art dashboard platform with analytics and all kinds of crazy, awesome stuff. And inside of it is the research tab. Now, let's back up and talk about YouTube at a higher level for just a second. I've said this many times before. YouTube is more of a search engine than a social network. Think about that. A social network is really predicated on scrolling activities. I scroll through the Facebook feed, I scroll through the Instagram feed, and maybe I stop for a second on a given piece of content and then I move on, I scroll past it. But YouTube, the dominant means of finding content is through search. I search for specific content. I type in specific words and phrases that express what I'm looking for, and then YouTube ranks the most relevant videos. Well, so think about this. If I use YouTube's research tab, I can actually figure out what are the keywords people are searching for. Moving to here, selling in blank. What are the keywords so I can understand what people want to look for on YouTube, and then I can create the videos to supply that demand for that type of content. It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful new feature. Now, there are other third-party tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ that are arguably further along in the ability to analyze what are people looking for. But one unique feature of YouTube's built-in research tab is that it can also tell you, depending upon the size of your subscribership, it can tell you what are your current subscribers searching for so you can better understand your audience and thereby create better content for that audience, which ultimately is going to grow your channel. It's going to grow your following. It's going to give you more success on YouTube. That's the research tab. Now, a couple of features to make you aware of concerning YouTube Shorts, which is YouTube's vertical video content. Remember, TikTok's taking over the world. And so everybody's trying to be like TikTok. And so YouTube launched YouTube Shorts, which are short form vertical videos. This is not new news. This is older news. However, there are some new updates to YouTube Shorts. A couple that I want to make you aware of in particular, the first being green screens. Instagram has had this feature and so has TikTok, whereby you can actually do what's called a green screen effect. What that allows you to do is the app automatically cuts you, the subject, out of your background. So you can basically layer whatever background media you want behind you. It could be a different video, it could be a static photo or whatever, but you can change your background. And so it's basically like a weatherman where you're standing in front of a green screen and the actual thing is behind you. So you can react to news articles or other videos. And it's a feature that's been really popular on Instagram and TikTok and will likely be popular on YouTube. So if you want to build your following on YouTube with YouTube Shorts, that green screen effect is going to be a really good feature to leverage on that platform. And then finally, still talking about some YouTube Shorts updates, YouTube's also released what is called cuts. Cuts allow you to basically take a snippet from another YouTube short, another video on the platform. It could be a long video, it could be a short video, so it could be in part of their on-demand library, their regular videos, or it could be out of their YouTube shorts. And you can actually grab like a few seconds or whatever you want, clip. It will give attribution to the person whose video you cut, but you can take that little snippet and you can even make it the green screen background and react to it. And so the ability to actually take cuts of other videos and stitch them into your YouTube short is a new feature. And that's kind of a unique one that I haven't quite seen executed the way YouTube's executing it on any other platform. So kudos to YouTube. Next, let's talk about Facebook. And I got one word for you. Reels. So Meta, all of their products, which includes Facebook and Instagram, they're all about vertical video, over-index on vertical video. So that's Reels. On your Facebook profile, on your Facebook business page, Reels, Reels, Reels. And in fact, just kind of doubling down on Reels as being the fundamental release or update to know about, they're now offering this little feature whereby you can use existing videos to create Reels. Currently, the little offer is kind of hidden in the Creator Studio, but they're going to most likely roll the feature out to be in the app and on the desktop platform and so forth, whereby you can use existing videos you've already published and you can take little clips or snippets of those videos and actually create Reels. And so my point to you is Facebook's going to make it as easy as possible to keep making short form vertical videos, i.e. Reels. So over-index on Reels on Facebook. Now, another update to be aware of when it comes to Facebook is, and this is kind of happening under our feet right now, so this isn't done in terms of how I talk about it in today's video, but Facebook is moving toward allowing users to have multiple profiles. Why? Well, because there's been a lot of feedback that says maybe people are more resistant to posting on Facebook because everybody's on Facebook, and so they don't want their work friends seeing this part of their life, or they don't want their family seeing this part of their life. And so the basic thinking is, well, if I gave people the ability to have multiple profiles, would they post more often? We'll see if that pans out to be true or false. Who knows? But the game plan or the discussion is to enable users to have up to 5 different profiles. Now, kind of in the same vein of that, you might have noticed, and this is what I really want to talk about, that they've basically bifurcated between your personal profile and your business page. You might have been offered, hey, upgrade to the new Facebook page. And now they're referring to the other Facebook page as it was known formerly as a classic page. But this is a little bit tricky because it's really no different. A classic page or a new page is basically not different. It has more to do with how you get access to it. So now if I look at my Facebook, I can actually switch between profiles. But I don't have multiple profiles. I have one personal profile and I have a business page. And so basically they've given me my own profile, my own newsfeed and everything for my business page. So again, the game plan, this is kind of confusing and it's still unfolding. The game plan is to enable users to have up to like 5 different profiles. But those profiles don't have to be profiles per se. They could also be business pages. And you can switch between them and interact differently on the platform, on Facebook as a whole, between all of them. So anyways, that might have confused you because it's not confusing at all. But be aware that they may be actually segmenting or bifurcating or partitioning, whatever word you like better, between your personal profile and your Facebook business page because they're working toward giving you the ability to have multiple profiles. And finally, let's talk about Instagram and features and updates you should know about on Instagram. The first one I want to bring to your attention is the release of interactive reels. What are interactive reels? Well, you might be familiar with in your Instagram stories, you can add these interactive stickers like swipe meters or polls or things along those lines. Things that I, as a viewer of your story, can like interact with a quiz or something like that. Well, they've now taken those exact same story stickers and now they're reels stickers, which is kind of unprecedented because before when I scrolled through any of the major feeds, the main feed, the explore page or whatever, the only way I could interact with content was I could like it, save it, comment, share it, and those types of things. Never before could I actually interact with the media itself like I could on a story, but now I can actually complete a poll or swipe a meter or conduct some kind of an interaction with an interactive sticker on the reel itself. So I would say to you, interaction is visibility. I said that on a few shows ago. I would leverage interactive stickers in your reels. Now, one caveat to be aware of, currently if you choose an interactive sticker, it's going to be on the entirety of the reel. You have the ability with captions and other elements to actually kind of set timers where for the first 3 seconds, this is here and then this is here, and I can time the text to come and go on my reel. But I can't do that with interactive stickers yet, but I'm hopeful that Instagram's gonna release a feature down the road whereby I can say, hey, show this poll or this interactive sticker for the first, 18 seconds or something along those lines. Now, the next Instagram feature to know about is what's called grid pinning. On your Instagram profile, you now have the ability to quote unquote pin up to 3 of your favorite pieces of content that are on your profile to the very top row of your profile grid. It's called grid pinning. This is a feature that TikTok's had for a long time. In fact, Facebook's had it for a long time. It's been a long time coming, and now it is available on Instagram. Now, a natural question would be, okay, what content should I grid pin on my profile? Well, I would give you a couple of options to think about. The first one is kind of go back to prior episodes of This Week in Marketing. We've talked a lot about knowing your calls to action, knowing and defining your menu of services. And you might recall that I talked about you really can offer services along 4 different lines: buy, sell, invest, refer. Those are the 4 things. Well, I've been talking to a lot of my clients about what does it look like to make maybe a carousel image where I can swipe through images, and I make one on buying, one on selling, and one on investing. And it's basically my value proposition for those 3 parties because I want to put my best foot forward for anybody who's a first-time visitor on my profile. So imagine somebody's on the Explore page or the Reels feed, and for the first time ever, they see my content and they tap to go visit my profile, which is great. What's going to be my first impression? And so I would say maybe laying out or spelling out in terms of how you can service them, buy, sell, invest, would be a really smart move. So maybe you create those carousels where that's like a gallery of images or videos that can swipe through and understand your value proposition, or maybe it's a video for each different one. Whatever. I'm just saying that could be an option. Or you could just use the grid pen to kind of showcase your newest content, or a last option would be your best content. Is there like a why us value proposition kind of video? Is there some post that really just shows a certain aspect of your personality that you want everybody to get that first impression of you? Because the grid pinning is most useful for people who are first-time visitors on your profile. They maybe haven't followed you yet. And it's kind of like the why follow us content. You want to make a really strong first impression, and you can do that with grid pinning. Now, another Instagram feature not yet released at the time of this recording, but in beta mode that I'm very excited about, is the live producer tool. So when it comes to live streaming on Instagram, I've always been annoyed because you have to do it through your phone. You have to like go live through the app on your phone. Now, granted, Instagram's rolled out a bunch of new features lately whereby I can schedule my live streams. I can invite other people into my live streams. I can do Q&A sessions in my live streams. Like, they've really kind of beefed up live streaming. But unlike Facebook or YouTube or even LinkedIn, whereby you can live stream from a third-party platform like StreamYard or Ecamm Live, and you can do that with a pro-grade camera. I can do it from my computer, my desktop. Instagram has not let us do that. However, they're beta testing their live producer tool, which will enable Instagram creators to live stream from desktop and third-party platforms. And I'm like, yay, I'm excited about that one. And finally, one last feature to be aware of and leverage when it comes to Instagram is reel replies. So when you get a comment on a post, you can heart or like a comment, you can reply to a comment, you can message instead of a reply to a comment, you can delete a comment or report it or block it, and you have different options. However, when you get comments on your reels, and you tap reply to that comment, you'll see an additional icon of a little camera icon. And if you tap that, you have the ability to create a subsequent reel in reply to that specific content. So it doesn't actually live in the comments thread. It's a whole new reel that gets posted into all the feeds and on your grid and so forth. And what's neat about it is it actually takes the comment and the person who left the comment, and it kind of like attaches a banner with that comment. And so everybody can see and read what the comment is you're replying to. And I get questions all the time like, how do I make more content? Instagram seems to want more content. How do I create more content? And if you're good at sparking a dialogue in the comments thread of your reels, you can then reply to some of those comments with additional reels and really drive the conversation even bigger and grander and better. And so I would say if you're making reels, A, that's fantastic. B, drive the conversation in the comments thread and then reply to some of the comments if it makes sense based upon the nature of the comments with an additional reel. That to me is just kind of like Inception. It's like a dream within a dream kind of a thing. Anyways, that's just me, and that's Instagram. Social media is truly always evolving, like perpetually. It's a continuum. Yet at the same time, I realize it's a lot of work. Truly, it's a lot of work. But there's also never been anything like it. Real estate is a relationship business, a know you, like you, trust you kind of business. And social media is probably the greatest marketing toolkit you could have ever asked for, but you got to keep up with it. You got to stay in the know. And I truly hope that today's video was useful for you to say, I didn't know that, or I can try that, or I can use that. So you can stay current with TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and really step up your game on social. Now, if this video was helpful for you, it would mean a lot to me and to our channel if you could smash that like button. And please, we want to hear from you. If you got some thoughts, ideas, questions, drop a comment below. We look at the comments every week and we want to hear from you. And so until next week, this is This Week in Marketing.
Where could you go to get tuned up, to get your mindset right, to get an unlimited number of marketing and lead generation strategies to win even more listings? The answer, my friend, is obvious. The Success Summit in Dallas, August 23rd through the 25th. If you want to be surrounded by thousands of like-minded individuals that are not buying into the noise, but instead staying mentally tough and most importantly, earning the money that they desire, then you need to join us. So to make your reservation, just go to tomferry.com/summit. Make sure you put in the promo code SUMMIT15, that's SUMMIT15, to get 15% off your ticket. I can't wait to see you at this year's Success Summit.